Welcome to pattern making class. I'm your college instructor, Annette Julie, and today we are working on our halter top. So please watch the prior videos to see how we got here. And here is my front halter. It's just half of it, no seam allowance. It's all contoured. And I went ahead and I drew a long grain line on a piece of paper here and folded it so I can have both sides of the halter top. And we're butterflying the pattern now. So you can go ahead and lay that on your center front and line it up. That looks good. Now we're going to go ahead and trace around the outer edge. I'm tracing the waist and up one of my darts. Up the other side of the dart leg. And we'll continue with the waist. Then I'm over at my side seam, which we contoured as well, so it will fit nicely. We took out the extra ease, so it won't be gaping. Tracing off my armhole. And now I have a long strap and my neckline. So let's see about getting to the neckline. You can pattern make everything in pencil. I do pen so we can see it. And I might blend right here. I don't particularly like the angle. I might just move that over a little bit. So I think I'll use pencil here. I'm going to move down. I'm going to trace off the rest of the tie, which can end with a point or a slant or a right angle. Now we've traced off the whole pattern. We can lift it up, take a look at it. Looks good. And it's on the fold. Look it, that's our center front. And look, that's our fold. Let's get a grain line on here. Parallel with our center front. The full length of the pattern. This is going to go all the way down that tie. Arrows, both directions. Now we can smooth out any lines that look a little bumpy because we were working with a first pattern. Now we're putting on seam allowance and we could proceed into a production pattern. Okay, that looks great. Now over here, I want to change this little angle. There's a little bump right there, so I'm going to shave that. These are the little fine-tuning details that you would do as a production pattern maker. And then over here, I'll probably fill that in by the same 1/8 of an inch and lessen that angle and here blend it. So that looks really good. Now I'm ready to go ahead and put seam allowance on everything. Looks awesome. Very excited about this design. So this is a cutaway dart. We do not need all the fabric inside of here. We're going to use 1/2 inch for this cutaway dart. And this is a woven pattern. We're working with a woven block. Little short 1/2 inch lines, and you can come back and connect them. Now, if you're joining the waist back to itself, like with a lining, I think I'd go ahead and put a 1/2 inch down here at the bottom. And the same here at the center front waist. Keep that consistent. Over here at our side seam, 1/2 inch. But then when it comes to the armhole and the neckline, we are only going to be using 1/4. So we can draw in short lines for 1/4 inch as we rotate around the curve of that armhole. So this whole armhole and strap will only have 1/4 inch seam allowance. That's looking good. Here's the other end of the strap. 1/4 inch. Around that curve that I made that blends a little bit better. The rest of our armhole. And then here we have our neckline. This has also 1/4 inch. One quarter. You can blend that with a curve ruler. 1/4 inch. Now we're coming to the end of the tie, which has that little point. This still has 1/4 inch, even when it comes down to our point here. So we need to follow that shape and get all the way to the end. And then we're going to come back with our curve ruler and we'll connect any curve lines that are not joined. So now we have the armhole that we can connect. Let's go ahead and blend our seam allowance edge, 1/4 inch. Blending up now towards the shoulder and where the strap is that goes behind the neck and ties. Let's blend that curve right there. And then on the end of the tie, now we have to blend inside of our neckline. And then we can come down to the bottom of our waist, which is very slightly curved. We want to respect all of our curve lines and keep them the same. We don't want to change all of our fine details that we added to our pattern. By pretending they're not there, we need to always respect all those curved lines. Get that ruler right in the correct position to translate the curve. Well, that looks great. There's all of our seam allowance, and this is our front halter top. And you could actually cut two of this and line it. So it could be cut one in self fabric, and it could also be cut one in lining fabric, and then you have your size and your name and the date. You have your pattern making information on there. Then of course you can go ahead and cut the whole thing out. And I think that is it for our video for now. And please check out my next video. We're working on the back.